Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. It is Saturday for me in the US. I don't know from where you're all watching from, but that means I'm going to make a Bitcoin video because Bitcoin trades 24/7, 365. So while the normal stock market I invest in is closed, I'm still playing around on this market. Now, more recently, my Ethereum finally went through, and I'm not going to lie, it took like over a week. I've noticed the same thing for my Bitcoin. But my Bitcoin I invested $100 in, a little over a week and a half. It's at 115. My Ethereum, I was using a BitMaker app, and it got me about $10 plus the $100 I invested in. So I was about 110, and now I'm about almost 160. So it like really jumped up. And let me show you why. If you look on Bitcoin on a 1 week, you see a pretty good climb and a drop. Even on a 1 month, you can see a nice steady upswing. But if you look at Ethereum, I got in right before the spike. So that's luck. I don't even want to pretend for a second that I was predicting that this spike up was going to happen. That's not the case at all. I was anticipating Ethereum to continue to go up in value because the technology is very transformative and I want to be a much more early adopter of it if possible. Now, I never came in at the beginning. I'm not going to pretend like I've been talking about this the whole time. I definitely have not. But I got in before this nice little spike here, which was great. Now, if you don't know what this app is, it is Coinbase. If you are a U.S. Consumer trader, whatever, Coinbase would be probably is the most actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and say it. It is the most popular Bitcoin wallet slash exchange for United States citizens. So that's why I use it. There's good history with it. There's good word of mouth with it. People talk about it, people use it. Downside is it is a regulated, but I feel in a sense it gives me a little more security that way. Now down the road, will I go for a more secure wallet, kind of off the grid kind of situation? Maybe. But for right now, since I am in the very early stages of getting into Bitcoin and altcoins and everything like that, I'm going to stick to the most open, secure, well known that I can gather the most information from. Now, just a quick run through. I don't want too many people to be out of the loop. Bitcoin, not actual currency. It is a software program built on a blockchain system, but the name coin basically just makes everyone think money. But it's a secure way to trade money. Basically, I have a wallet, you have a wallet. If I were to take $5 out of my wallet and give it to you, you put that $5 in your wallet. It's peer to peer, me to you. That's how Bitcoin works. It's not I have a Wells Fargo bank and you have JP Morgan, where I take money out of my Wells Fargo, put it through a wire transfer, it goes to your JP Morgan, accepts the wire transfer, then goes into your account, and it has to go through multiple people, get regulated, get audited, make sure everything's legit, takes several days. Possibly there's chances of corruption or losing the money or the wire not going through and other scenarios like that. Bitcoin's wallet to wallet. And you have your 32 digit cryptographic password, and then you have your own email and password and so on and so forth, other ways to basically secure it. So it's more secure because it's peer to peer. You don't store your information on a central bank system. It's on a decentralized system. So hopefully that's kind of a good enough explanation if you haven't heard of it before. I would highly suggest that people kind of do their own little research on it and get into it. I use Bitcoin as my alternate to basically the stock market. At some point, we're gonna continue through these cycles where we boom and bust. We build up and we collapse, and most people are saying, myself included, that we're kind of due for a correction. I wouldn't go as far as a full-on collapse, but we're definitely due for a correction. But more than likely, the higher we keep pushing it up, the more it's going to collapse. But Bitcoin's not tied to it, so it won't have effect. Then again, because people do invest in the stock market and they have Bitcoin, you might see them pull out of Bitcoin, go into the market, or vice versa, pull out of the market and go into Bitcoin. So there's always, one always feeds the other. As much as I would like to say this is a safe deterrent to the market, there's always people that have one or both or neither, and it can affect one another. Now, Ethereum is basically the evolution of Bitcoin. It is taking that technology, the peer-to-peer, that type of system, and advancing upon it, because Bitcoin was made like back in 2008, 2009, and it was built for that point in time. Think about like AOL dial-up. At one point in time, that was the pinnacle of internet. logging on, going to a chat room, sending emails. And look how far we come now. We could send pictures, videos. We have Facebook. We can have, uh, meeting conversations where everyone's video chatting. We keep pushing the boundaries of the internet and what it is, and that's basically what Ethereum is to Bitcoin. It's not replacing Bitcoin; it's expanding off of it. I think most people view the two as opposing enemies, but really they complement each other. You could say a lot of people like to think of Bitcoin as gold, like as a safe currency investment in the cryptocurrency alternate currency, and then Ethereum's like oil; it fuels it. So like they're not opposing each other; they complement each other in this cryptocurrency economy. Now, again, this is my take on it. This is my presumption. This is what I've learned, researching into it. This is all based on what I think. As always, I'm not your advisor. I'm not trying to tell you how to invest your money. I'm just putting as many options out there as you can, and ultimately you decide what you want to do. But I'm going to be investing more and more into these two. I would like to get into Litecoin, which is another type of coin, but I will wait to see if it comes on this Coinbase app, which I can trade it. If not, I would have to go to a cryptocurrency exchange and go that route. And Coinbase has a GDAX, which is like they're tied together. So that's one way to buy altcoins, because that also is an exchange and it has other options on there. But for right now, like I said, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm sticking with this. But if you look at the return that you could have gotten just in 1 week on Bitcoin, like coming down here from say 1250 all the way up to this peak of 1371, that's an incredible run. Any stock in the market would love to have that run. CNBC will be talking about it, Bloomberg will be talking about it, Fox Business will be talking about it. Everybody will be talking about this kind of like this dramatic run up of over $100, easily within 1 week. And that's what Bitcoin is. It's very volatile because it's still new. It's still in its infancy. And I don't want people to think like, oh, you're getting into it too late, or oh, it's been around since 2008, 2009. I missed early adoption. Like, as far as Bitcoin is concerned, it's to me it's like AOL right now. It's in the dial-up phase. It's still new. It still has room to run. It still has room to grow, because you think about how many people actually use Bitcoin versus how many people actually use their country's currency. There's plenty of room for it to grow. You just got to find those good moments of when to buy in. And you typically, of course, just like a normal stock market, you want to buy in on dips. You want to buy in on like this dip right here. Or you want to buy in on this dip right here. Or you want to buy in this little flat, short dip right here. You want to trade this like you would a normal stock. You just got to find those right opportunities. When it's speculative like this, you gotta find your moment. You can't just, oh, I heard a hot tip and then just jump right in. You gotta plan it out, do your research, think about it, learn. Don't just watch my videos, watch other videos, see what they're saying, compare each other's opinions. And ultimately you're gonna make the decision with your money. That's the hardest part, is it's your money. I can't stress that enough when I make these videos. I don't want you to buy things because I'm telling you. I want you to take interest in them because I'm informing you, and then you decide if you want to buy it. That's all it is. But so far, man, I've had a good run up. Like I said, it's only been a few weeks. This thing could crash tomorrow. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that's a reality, but the stock market could crash tomorrow. You look at, I think right now, it's like 20 countries. I think a lot, some of them big countries like Japan or whatever, like have negative interest rates. We're kind of in a scary time as far as our global economic perspective. It's when you have major countries that we do global trade with have negative interest rates. That's not good for our overall global economy. And I'm from the United States. We just barely started raising our interest rates, and we're at like 0.75. We're not even at 1%. So that means treasury bonds ain't shit. Fucking mortgage returns ain't shit. Like you go to a bank and get a CD or a money market account, it ain't shit, because these interest rates are nothing. You're not going to get any money from it. And that's the sad part, because, that's what, like, your news channels, your politicians, people will tell you, like, oh, this money, that money, this company. But at the end, like, the whole grand scheme of things, like, the outlook is it's not good. And Bitcoin and the whole blockchain system is is going to continue to grow because of it. Anytime there's fear in the market, I'm going to tell you, like, I just noticed Bitcoin keep rising. Whenever there's a terrorist attack, whenever there's a bank collapse, whenever there's a fraud case, whenever there's a murder, whenever there's something crazy going on, like all that fear, like Bitcoin just continues to rise. You see other stocks fluctuate. When the United had their fucking people throw a dude off the airplane, their stock plummeted. Bitcoin went up. When, like stuff like that happens, it's just more of a reason why the cryptocurrency route is a good hedge against the overall market, because random things can happen and that can affect your money. And that's like a slap in the face to everybody. When you see your wallet get hurt, you get hurt and you get emotional and you get upset. But that's why I try to adopt other means of making money, not just in the avenues of the market, but also outside the market if possible. Like, I don't do Forex trading in a sense, but Bitcoin is basically a currency. It's just the internet currency, you could call it. So in a way, I'm kind of doing foreign exchange in that way, but I don't do foreign exchange versus, US dollar versus euro, or euro versus yen, and so on and so forth. But I kind of want to give more of an adept overview of what this technology is and how it could ultimately disrupt, how we do finance. And a lot of people, I think, just with any new technology, they're scared. They have that robot rising, taking over the world, Skynet kind of, overview. The reality is, robots have been making your lives great for years, for decades, with having, obviously, like I said, the internet being one of the biggest things, having like technology in your car, having GPS, having apps on your phone, having access to the internet anywhere in the world as long as you have data, having an ATM machine handle your money in and out really quick rather than having to wait in a line at a teller just to withdraw money. There's so many things that technology has done to make our lives better, and yet we still fear it instead of embrace it, And I think the blockchain with Bitcoin technology, is that next step. And like I said, it's like the AOL phase, it's the dial-up phase. Bitcoin wasn't designed to be the end-all be-all, but it opened up a new avenue for like a lot of companies like making altcoins like Ethereum here. And I think it's just going to continue to grow. I think from an investing standpoint, you should focus on the coins that have the best technology or the best disruptive technology behind them. Because just like penny stocks, there's going to be a lot of like crappy companies that you could speculate on. But ultimately, I think in this space, since it's still brand new and it's still very risky, I would say focus on the ones that are going to do big things to make money. Like Bitcoin, like I said, is the originator. It's like the gold standard. People go into that. Ethereum is like an evolution off of Bitcoin, you could say. That's going to be another big one. Litecoin is basically silver to gold in a sense, where I don't want to go to the grocery store and buy a pack of gum for like $1 and then pay with a Bitcoin and it breaks it down, 0.0000007, of my Bitcoin. I'd rather just go pay in Litecoin, which is valued a lot less, but it's purposely done that way, where I only spend 0.05 Litecoin, The whole way it's set up is to be a smaller, or it uses smaller amounts basically to handle smaller purchases. If I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to pay in Bitcoin. If I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy food, I'm going to pay in Litecoin. Think of it like that. And then, Monero is supposed to be a very secretive use of coin, where if you don't want anyone knowing anything about what you're spending at any time, that's what Monero coin is. Like look for coins like that offer these technologies that build off the blockchain and capitalize on the technology that it has. But I think what I'll do is I'll try to make more videos on on my Coinbase app here with these currencies, and kind of talk about them and get people interested, because like I said, it's a great way to hedge yourself against the entire stock market. And I'm talking like global trade, And a lot of countries already have adopted Bitcoin currency, so you could exchange dollars for Bitcoin. So like right now, one Bitcoin is $1,362. The euro has its conversion. Japan has its conversion. Other countries have their conversions. Bitcoin, despite what you think, it's already in a lot of countries, and it's only going to continue to grow. The best thing is, all you need is internet access, and you could have a finance system at your fingertips. That's what Bitcoin's about. That's what the blockchain's about. You give countries the opportunity to get into their own finance without having to go to a private system, a centralized system where they charge fees and there's regulations and they choose who gets an account and who doesn't. You know, you can make a Bitcoin account if you're like a child. You can make a Bitcoin account if you're in a foreign country where there's no bank. You know, you can make a Bitcoin account for anything pretty much. And you have access to wealth in that way where you could help improve your life. You know, that's, to me, that's the technology to focus on, and that's the amazing thing. At the end of the day, like a lot of my videos talk about finance and stuff, but really like who I am as a person. You know, I like things that help improve lives and help push us forward, like that kind of technology. Like I prefer solar and wind to be the big technologies that we focus on rather than, you know, oil and natural gas. But I mean, it is what it is. I just try to push what I think is ultimately going to be the best for you all. And then, like I said, you all have to make the decision if that's the route you want to go. So maybe on the weekend, on Saturday or Sunday going forward, I'll just make one of these videos and then just kind of add it to my collection. Because like I said, Bitcoin trades 24/7. So right now, when you're looking at this price, you watch it 5 minutes later, it's going to change. You watch it an hour later, it's going to change. You watch it a day later, it's going to change. It trades all the time. And I think that's kind of one of the fun things about it too, is your you're making money while you sleep, you're making money while you eat, you're making money while you travel, you're making money, doesn't matter, while you're taking a dump, you're making money all day, every day with altcoin trading. So that's kind of the interesting thing about it. So I hope this is helpful. I hope going forward you all kind of at the very least consider it, do some research on it. You know, and I hope you all become wealthy one day from it, because I too would like to be wealthy one day. But with that, you know, as always, if you guys have any questions, you know, I'll do my best to answer. So always leave me a comment. I'll try to help you out. And if you like my channel, help me out. Click like and subscribe, and I'll keep everything coming. And any suggestions you guys have, I'll do my best to make some content on that. So enjoy the rest of your day.